She's fierce. Working. She's fierce.
All right, so are you looking for a PS5 or maybe a brand new Xbox? I'm telling you, there are some places you can go online like StockX.com. I saw that. Even on eBay, you've got, I don't know, 6 or 7 people that are watching an auction for a PS5 that's like at $1,500. I don't know what's worse, the price or the number of people that are actually willing to pay that. So what's happening online, it started on Reddit. There's a subreddit called Scam the Scalpers. And so they're giving people ideas. And so this one I thought was really funny. Instead of just reaching out to a local seller, negotiating the price, and then setting up a place to meet, they say to arrange a meetup at a local children's hospital and tell the local news crew about the person with such a big heart. They don't have to know he's a scalper, and that they are donating a PS5 or an Xbox Series X to all the kids in the hospital this Christmas. Could you imagine? Wow, so smart. I bet there'd be no way to console the scalper then. And you see, ladies and gentlemen, just an example of all the fun that we have here week after week as we talk about living the best digital life. We talk about all the gadgets and gizmos, making money and saving money, and what's left, kinda, of your online security and privacy. Just a little tiny bit. Yes, it's called the Kim Komando Show because, after all, I'm America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. Yes. And you can find us on 400 top stations from coast to coast and around the globe on American Forces Network Radio. I love this. Serves more than 375,000 American servicemen and women in 175 countries and 200 U.S. ships at sea. And Merry Christmas to all of you. All right, let's get this party started with 5 things that you need to know, because every single day I scour all the news sites. I look at all the tech blogs. I even head into Reddit just for you. And I put it all together for you for our site, and then also for our daily tech updates, our podcast, and of course, here on the big 3-hour show. And in case you missed it, a few days ago, there was this devastating, massive cyber attack. I'm talking massive with a capital M, targeting major branches of the U.S. government and federal computer systems. Now, it's bad, and it's getting worse. The attackers, well, they say they're likely tied to the Russian government. They exploited a vulnerability from SolarWinds, and they breached the Commerce and Treasury Department's computers, and then also the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the Pentagon. I'm talking about the whole shebang. So what were they getting? They were looking for intel about how the U.S. would actually plan a cyber attack. So if you think about it, the hackers hacked our hacking methods. And it was pretty basic. They gained what's called God access, which means you have ability to see and do anything on these systems. But wait, there's more. The 2 agencies that maintain our country's nuclear weapons stockpile are also compromised. Isn't that frightening? Including the Los Alamos National Lab. These hackers might have also figured out how to disrupt the U.S. electrical grid. This is big stuff. And it's all been going on since March. Nice. And by the way, you probably got hacked too. So if you are using any type of government websites, the IRS, the SBA, Social Security, what you want to do is change your password right now while you're thinking about it. And if you get any phishing emails, any phone calls that says, hey, we're from the government and we want to give you some money, anything like that, but you need to pay us first and gift cards, just say no. Number 2, the Russians are coming again. This is such a great idea. I'm surprised I didn't think about it. The director of the Stanford Internet Observatory, Alex Stamos, he published an opinion piece in the Washington Post following all these cyber attacks. Just makes so much sense. Listen to this. He says that we should build a cyberspace equivalent of the National Transportation Safety Board that would track attacks, figure out how vulnerable we are, and ways to fix it. The NTSB, they do this with airplanes. So why don't we do this with cyberspace? Congress should also pass a federal data breach law requiring that none of it be kept secret. He also says that Congress and the incoming administration should put defensive cybersecurity in the same level as offensive operations and intelligence gathering. Okay, that is really smart. And they should appoint people with hands-on experience in key roles. Whoa, what a novel thought. Right before being summarily dismissed, the U.S. Director of Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency said that the 2020 election was the most secure in American history. It makes sense now. I guess the Russians were too busy stealing information from any other government entity that they could get into, and that he put in no time in the election. Oh, I wasn't even drinking. All right, number 3, time to take off the hoodie again, Mark. Yep, Amazon, TikTok, Discord, WhatsApp, Reddit, Snap, Twitter, YouTube, and once again, Facebook. They have to divulge their data collection and use practices within the next 45 days. Okay, and that's coming from the FTC. So I'd like to see, I started thinking about this, about how they really manipulate people on what they see on the site. I mean, how is the brain exactly stimulated? And what AI are they doing this so that it gives people the same feeling and reinforcement as if they're taking an addictive drug? And how many of these so-called bugs that they came out with were really just excuses for getting more data from people? And I'd really be interested, most of all, about how the data is sold, for example, to insurance companies, so that insurance companies can base their premiums on who you associate with and what exactly you post online. I don't think they're going to tell us any of that. A couple of days after that order from the FTC, a group of 10 states led by Texas filed an antitrust lawsuit against Google for anti-competitive conduct in online advertising. Now, Google says this is all meritless. We don't know what you're talking about. We're just doing this to help businesses and to benefit consumers. They actually said that. And if you didn't know better, do you think that Google was tracking our bowel movements with Google Sheets? Number 4, if you thought the anti-vaxxers were bad before, well, guess what? They are all over social media, but a lot of conspiracy theories. So you don't want to fall for these myths. Like the one that if you have the COVID-19 vaccine, it's going to make you more susceptible to other illnesses. The flu vaccine doesn't make you sick. The vaccines don't contain live viruses. Then there are all the myths about the government. One being that the vaccine is going to be mandatory. That may be a little bit of a gray area, okay? How about that the vaccine will be forcefully administered by the military and that it will contain a microchip so that you can be tracked? Okay. Why put R&D into all that effort just to track somebody? Because let's say, you know what, we're all just carrying a phone. You just track them that way. And finally, number 5, Zoom fails happen even for the royalty. That's right. Even at the age of 94 years old, Queen Elizabeth II embraces technology, and it all started in the beginning. Her coronation in 1953 was the first one to be ever televised. Maybe she should be called like the digital queen. She sent her first email in 1976. Wow. And the Queen recorded a Christmas video message in 2012 in 3D. She's no stranger to social media, and so Zoom should be pretty easy, but even for the British royalty, well, they're not immune to technical difficulties on Zoom calls. A few days ago, Queen Elizabeth made an appearance during a Zoom call celebrating the 150th anniversary of the accounting firm KPMG. Here, take a listen.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am. I lost you. I wasn't sure, actually, if you could hear me.
No, you've just disappeared, all of you.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm still here, ma'am.
Good.
Just disappeared.
I'm so sorry. I'm not sure exactly when you lost me.
You know, it's just, we've lost everyone. That's right. I was in a Zoom meeting the other day. And I thought to myself, you know, these virtual meetings, when you start thinking about it, they are a lot like going to a seance, isn't it? You hear things like, Bob, are you there? Bob, is anyone with you? Can you hear us, Bob? We can't hear you. Maybe Bob was just muted. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. And just a quick reminder, if you're listening to the show, gets interrupted for whatever the reason, you can get the entire show as a podcast over at getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. How about we start this hour with Tim in Dallas, Texas. Hi there, Tim.
Hey, Kim. How are you? Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, you betcha. What's going on?
Well, like a lot of companies were, tightening the belt, and they decided to get rid of my VoIP phone, my quote, unquote, landline. and so I had purchased a new phone probably a year before this. I had the line forwarded to myself. I was using it for incoming calls that way into my cell. But my outgoing calls, I really miss the full-size keyboard, the corded handset.
Okay, so you want that big phone feel.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Okay.
And so what I did was, and my question to you is, it doesn't look like, from what I can tell, this new phone, relatively new phone, doesn't look like it's Bluetooth enabled. Is that the function that I'm looking for?
No, not at all. Not at all. Good news for you, and the solution isn't cheap, just to let you know, is that you can buy a regular standard big old office phone, right? Mm-hmm. And you just slide your iPhone right into it, or your Android phone. Just plug it right in. And then you've got the big numbers, you got the dial pad, you got an LCD panel, and you've got that big handset. Okay. And so it's it's just like having a desk phone, but now you are able to take your iPhone. Do you have an iPhone or Android?
I have an iPhone.
Okay, so just take your iPhone, just plug it in the top, and then the side benefit is that it's charging at the same time. And so It's actually kind of really innovative. Now, when I said it wasn't cheap, okay, they're about $200. The ones that you want. They have cheapo knockoffs are $50, but you're not the guy that's going to want one of these little flimsy things. I can tell. You want one of the ones that you can just hold it right up to your ear and you're right all over it. So that's about $200. As an alternative, what you could do, and I actually almost got this for somebody as a prank Christmas present, is that you can buy a banana, like a banana phone, and plug the banana into your iPhone's power port, and then suddenly you have a banana phone connected to your iPhone. But I know you don't want a banana phone. The company that makes this little gadget is called Ziggy, Z-I-G-E. But I'll go ahead and post a link to it over in our Q&A forums, and happy to send that out to you, Tim. We're so glad that you got through to us, and Merry Christmas to you. And maybe Santa will bring you a full-blown handset phone for your smaller iPhone. Yeah, kind of goes, I guess, technology, old tech, new tech. It really depends on what you want. Hey, listen, we're on the road so much during the holidays that we can't afford to have our cars break down. That's why you need to call CarShield. Visit carshield.com, use code Kim, and you're going to save 10%. A deductible may apply. Once again, that's carshield.com, use code Kim, and you'll save 10%. As I mentioned, if you ever wish that Netflix could come as a podcast, well, they are in the process of rolling out this new playback mode. It's an audio-only playback where you can listen to your favorite shows and movies. You don't have to actually see what's going on. You maybe focus on other things. Right now, it's only available on the Netflix app for Android, and they're going to roll it out, of course, to iPhone. You should see a new button that says Video Off near the top of the full-screen player. And if you want more of a blanket setting, there's another option that says Audio Only. And now you can Netflix and grill, Netflix on a hill, or maybe Netflix on a treadmill. Hey, our DIY security tip is still to come this show, as well as our digital life hack you don't want to miss. And we have more of your great, terrific phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. All right. A recent study says that smart speakers are already in 1/3 of American households. Now about 18 million more are expected to be shipped here in the United States by the end of the fourth quarter. Wow. We're talking about the Amazon Echo, the Google Nest. Just remember that smart speakers are only good if they're always listening, even when they're not supposed to. So what do? You can turn off the microphone. Well, that defeats the purpose of owning a smart speaker in the first place. But no matter which brand you have, I want you to really pay attention and set up privacy restrictions, like opting out of having samples of your voice recordings analyzed for these quote-unquote improvements. You can also schedule your smart speakers to automatically delete any recordings on a regular basis. Over at Komando.com, for every setting we have to change on these new smart speakers to maintain your privacy, we've got the entire list you don't want to miss. And someone once told me that there was no way that these speakers are always listening. I laughed. And then Siri laughed. And then Alexa laughed too. Bill in Saginaw, Michigan. Hey, Bill. Merry Christmas.
Hey, Kim. Merry Christmas. Big fan here.
Well, thank you.
And in fact, of all the emails and newsletters that I've signed up for over the years, yours are the only ones that I've never regretted signing up for, if you know what I mean.
Oh, well, thank you.
I did want to thank you for providing those.
Thank you. You know,
I'd like to,
I was going to say these newsletters are a labor of love. Let me tell you, there's a lot of work. I'm sure that you see because you appreciate it. And in probably the first quarter of next year, we're going to be changing the newsletters around to make it more personalized. So let's say you always click on Windows stuff. And then your newsletter is going to have more Windows stuff versus maybe my newsletter because I am into Apple. So just look for those. There's going to be some subtle changes that are going on in the first part of next year because of artificial intelligence that now we can do all this stuff. I'm so excited about it. But anyway, thank you for subscribing. So what's on your mind?
I was going to say, I'm certainly looking forward to those newsletters, new ones anyway. I'd like to replace Gmail. And the reason being, with the fact that big tech and Silicon Valley have, in my opinion, instituted nefarious business practices lately.
Oh, no. Say that's not true. Come on, Bill. Gosh, you know what? You're just taking us all to Frown Town right now. How can you even say such a thing?
How could I say it? I know. But I do want to keep myself at a distance from one. And I've had a Gmail account since they first offered. And so it's been several years. And I know it's going to be painful. But I would really like to divorce myself from Google as least as much as I can anyway.
And are you willing to pay for this?
Yes, and the reason why I'm willing to pay for it is I'm paying now with my privacy. Why not pay with the money and keep my privacy?
Okay, you know what? You are a smart man because sometimes I will say that to people and I'll say, do you want to pay for it? And they'll be like, oh, no, why should I have to pay for that? It's like, well, somebody's got to pay for the lines and delivering your email and the servers and things like that. And, you know, sometimes we'll get people that will say, you know, why are there ads on your website? Well, somebody's got to pay the bills, okay, because you're not paying for it.
Exactly.
You know, probably one of the best alternatives, when you sent me an email with this question, I'll tell you, you did, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So when your email question came in, and I do read every single email that gets sent to me, is that I called Allie, our amazing content queen, and I said, Allie, we need to do a chart that shows the different alternatives. It's because there are so many out there. You've got Hush Mail, you have Proton Mail, there's mailbox.org, which is a relatively new one that I just found about. And there's Tut and Ora. Yes, I don't know where they came up with that name. I'm sure it means something to somebody. So, but the whole idea is that these servers are not located here in the United States. And they offer end-to-end encryption. They promise not to do any tracking. They promise not to put any ads in your inbox, right? And there is normally a cost of sending anywhere between, say, $5 to maybe $12, $15 a month. Okay. Yeah. And it seems like most of them, I actually Googled this question yesterday, and I couldn't find a good answer, Bill. But it seems most of them are located in Germany. Okay, yes, part of the European Union, and they have better data practices and better rules and, you know, all that good stuff that we don't have here in the United States. But I'm still interested on why it's Germany. Proton Mail is located in Switzerland. And so what you get is you don't have to provide any personal information to create an account. You don't have to install any software. It does offer end-to-end encryption on the body of the email, but not on the email subjects, if that's important to you. But I think your primary concern is that we have big tech that is tracking every single thing that we do, online and offline.
Exactly it.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Kim. Yeah, that's and it seems to be getting worse. They've gone from a fact-based result. I mean, Google, and you could really include big media in this, but they've gone from a fact-based result to a thought-shaping result, and to me that's kind of creepy.
And it's very frightening how social media is really designed to manipulate our thoughts and our actions so that they can make billions.
Yes.
And it's especially frightening to me when we have more than 50% of the United States that is getting their news from Facebook. Okay. And 60% of all Facebook users here in the United States, they did not know when polled that Facebook was not a news organization. How can you even think that Facebook is sending out reporters, right? I mean, and they're compiling this, and really it's being controlled by somebody probably in their late 20s, a whole group, as a matter of fact, on what you see and things that keep you tracked. And I think 2021 is going to see, Bill, I don't know if you agree, I think it's going to see a big movement where people are going to finally wake up and say, what is really going on here?
Oh, yes. I couldn't agree more. I think the awakening is happening right now, and it's getting stronger by day.
Well, they have 45 days, big tech, to turn over on how they're really releasing all this data and who they're collecting it for and how they're using it. But you know as well as I do that it's not going to contain anything. It's just It's just going to be a panacea so that this way they can fill out a few boxes and make an appearance via Zoom in Washington. And somebody's going to ask them a question, which was just embarrassing at the last Mark Zuckerberg hearing, because the guy, I forget who it was, they got Facebook confused with Twitter. It's like, no, that was Twitter. Okay. Let's keep our social media sites the same. Right. So let us do this. Let us put together a really great tip for you, Bill, and for everybody else, about how you do have Gmail alternatives. Full disclosure, our entire network is using G Suites. But I've looked into Hushmail and Proton Mail myself. And there's Mailbox.org, and then there's that Tatiara or whatever it's called that you can also check out. But we'll put together a tip. We'll have it come out over the next couple of weeks. Give us some patience. We are, still in the holiday season here, and we are banking some shows and a lot of people taking time off. But we will get that done over the next couple of weeks. And Bill, thank you so much for your call and a very insightful conversation. It's time now for our digital life hack, and this week is brought to you by ExpressVPN. And I don't know about you, but I love watching Christmas classics with my family. It's so much fun. Last night, my most favorite Christmas movie of all time. Do you know what it is? The Polar Express. I just love the Polar Express. And even though the graphics are getting a little long in the tooth, still darn good. But what if you go to Netflix and discover your favorite Christmas movie just isn't available? Well, get ready. You can use ExpressVPN to watch any Netflix library in the entire world. Right now, you can stream National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation on Swedish Netflix. It's so simple. You just open the ExpressVPN app, hit one button to change locations, refresh Netflix, and that's it. ExpressVPN lets you control where sites think that you're located. You can choose from almost 100 different countries. So just imagine all the different Netflix libraries you can explore. And it's just as Netflix. ExpressVPN works with any streaming service, Disney+, Hulu, BBC iPlayer, you name it. ExpressVPN works with all your devices too, including phones, tablets, media consoles, and smart TVs. So you can use it to watch whatever you want on the go or on the big screen. Just go to expressvpn.com/Kim. That's a special address. You're going to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. expressvpn.com/Kim. Smart homes can feel pretty magical. When you get in, you just tell it to turn on the lights, turn off the lights. Who's at my front door? Show me who's at the gate. Maybe even let the Amazon delivery person put your orders right inside your garage. But what I love about this too with a smart home is that if it rains, is that it knows that it should not be watering the grass. So you have smart speakers, you have smart outlets, smart light bulbs, video doorbells, security cameras, and as I mentioned, the garage door and the really smart sprinkler system. So if you only have $100 to spend, there are various options. So where do you get started? Well, you can start with an Echo Dot, really cheap way to get in, and the MyQ garage door opener. What if you have a smart plug that you want to get involved too with smart light bulbs? Well, you can get the Echo Show with a smart plug, and then a 2-pack of a Wi-Fi light bulb. Now, the Wi-Fi light bulbs, until you get it, that's when you're like, oh, now I understand it. But when you start using a smart light bulb, is that it does make total sense. And then we go on to $200. You can get a Ring video doorbell with an Echo Show, and then maybe a 3-pack with $500, the Ring video doorbell, the garage door opener, and the smart sprinkler controller. But you can even spend a little bit more and get the smart thermostats and some smart plugs. And in case you want to check it all out, look no further than the official homepage of the Kim Komando Show, because we have linked all this out, explained it in all details. Now, just keep in mind that a smart home doesn't mean that you don't need a security system from, say, Simply Safe. You still need a home security system. A smart home will just make you smarter and make the home smarter. And for links to everything that I just spoke about, look no further than the official homepage of the Kim Komando Show. That's KOMANDO.com. And when you're there, hit the link that says Kim Show. So I was tagged on a tweet this past week from a TV meteorologist, I believe she is, on the East Coast. And it turned out that her 10-month-old erased her iPhone. What is that happening? How did that happen? I'm going to tell you more about that. And, of course, we have more of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. Let's see. Dale in Dallas, Georgia. Hi there, Dale.
Hey, Kim.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. Merry Christmas. What's going on with you?
Merry Christmas to you. Well, I have a 11-year-old daughter that is wanting to have a YouTube page, and I wondered if that was safe or not.
Well, there's a lot of wackos on the internet. You know that, right?
Well, that was my thoughts.
Yeah. What does he or she want to do with the channel and the page?
Well, her main concern is she wants to save a lot of the videos that she's made. She's got on some site and made Got Your Life and made a bunch of videos, and she wants to store them on the YouTube page.
Does she want to make them public?
She want to make them public? She wants her friends to be able to see them.
Okay. All right. Okay, a couple of steps that we want to do is we're going to register the account using your email address. You're do not use her real name, and turn off the ability to comment, because that's where all the trolls come out.
Okay.
And we have a kids contract. If you go to komando.com/contract, you might want to go through it with her. It talks about the rules of the road, because now she's into a different level.
Okay.
And you're going to have to keep track of her. Now, you've got 3 different ways that you can post videos on YouTube. Public. Okay. We don't want to do public. Okay?
No public.
Okay. Then you've got private. If she wants to post the videos and to make them private, that's the most secure type of video that you can have on YouTube. They don't appear in searches, recommendations, or any type of video tabs. So it's private. Also, if she shares the video, the person that she shares the video with won't be able to share that video with somebody else, even if they have the link. Okay? So you have public, private, and then your third option is unlisted, which I don't recommend. It doesn't show up in video searches. It doesn't show up anywhere else. But as long as somebody has that link, they can view the video.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
So just stay private.
Just keep it private. She may not like that. She may think that, I want to make sure maybe I can make some money at this. Because so many kids her age are getting on YouTube and they get a lot of publicity that they now are making millions of dollars. When in reality, what do you think the number, and you can use this with her, ask her this question: how many different YouTube pages have over 100,000 subscribers? Out of all the YouTube channels you have, tens and tens of millions, hundreds of millions of different YouTube channels. Care to make a guess?
10 maybe.
Well, over 100,000, you have 100,000, over 100,000.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, which really not very many of them, considering all the different channels that are on YouTube. So we always hear about PewDiePie and this kid doing an unboxing and everything else, when in reality, a lot of channels, including mine, we're sitting there under 100,000, and we're not making really a dime off of that. I think not supposed to say, we only made a couple $100. I can't give you the exact number, but off the YouTube channel. So, the times have changed where people can get on YouTube and create a real success of that, because it's just too much right now. So follow those rules, remember private, and thank you for your call today, Dale, and Merry Christmas to you. Coming right back, we've got a great tip about a 10-month-old that erased everything on his mom's phone. Yikes. Here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, thanks for watching a past episode of my national radio show. That's why it's called The Kim Komando Show Rewind. Now, to get the entire show, all 3 hours, when it airs live, or you can get on demand, head over to getkim.com and you can become a member of the Komando community. There are a ton of perks. Aside from just the show, you get free ebooks, a place to get answers to your tech questions, and more of me. So come on, what are you waiting for? Click that link right now and become a member. And thank you.